Everybody, it's Colin and Namara. I actually have some really interesting stuff to report today. I found some things. I saw something and then I observed what happened afterwards in something that I've been trying to describe. I just try to describe it a bunch of times and I didn't really know what it was I'm describing, but I don't know, maybe it was the stuff that I did the last couple of days. Now I can explain what the problem is, and I think this is the firewall. I think this is the freaking thing that I need to figure out to make the stuff that I already figured out actually work. So this is going to be tricky, and it has to do with the left brain and the right brain, which we've covered stuff with that a bunch of different times. But I'm going to start attacking this my own way. There's a lot of stuff out there already, and that is the problem. There's a lot of things like where people like, this is how this is, and this is how that is, and you need to sync these two together. And people are so used to hearing the same things spoken over and 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 over again that they just assume that that's how it is. And I don't think it's that way. And that's how I've gotten as far as I have by not giving a shit what the rest of the world says and just doing my own thing. Because I'm telling you, what I saw, I saw, I would say 90%, at least 90% of the walking it back sequence to getting out of here. But then here's the problem. It's a right brain, left brain thing. I don't want to spoil it. Let's go ahead and watch the intro and then we'll get into it. So if you want to know more, don't go away. Okay, two main things here. One is what you need to know, what you need to do mentally to pull back out of the illusion. But I can only explain it so well because of the second problem, the effing left brain. Okay, so we've said what we said about the left brain, and that ended up matching up with that declassified CIA report about the Monroe Institute, blah, 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 blah. See, we'd already done videos about that. What this channel is, it's a series of receipts. So we've done videos about how the right brain is like the source input, and then the left brain is all the matrix crap. And then lately she's called it like the left brain interpreter. And that's where all the stuff is. That's where all the bad stuff is stored. That's where all the coding and the beliefs and this is the rules and all this stuff that makes you see this. It's all freaking left brain. And the stuff that I've said recently that kind of highlights the problem is I say, you know, the way my brain works, it's like those pictures of, you know, the people with the conspiracy walls or trying to track a serial killer, and they got this whole freaking big wall with all these pictures and things and freaking red yarn going all over it. And you can stand 6 feet back from it and you can look at the whole wall and you can see it and you can understand it. But if I then picked up the phone and called you and tried to describe what was on the wall, I would have to go one piece at a time and it just wouldn't freaking click. It's kind of like, I mean, we don't know this, but it's one of those things they've theorized, things like the Tower of Babel, where, you know, in the Bible at least, where they were about to get, they were building something to get out of here. So God at the time's like, I don't like this shit, so I'm going to mess up your language, make you all have different language. The only thing that makes sense about that is we were used to be all telepathic, and then we had to use words. Because I've always said, like, I'm like, I don't know how to describe some of this stuff unless I was freaking unless we were telepathic and I could just link my brain up and you could see what I'm seeing. Then we could make sense of it. But the same thing happens when you receive right brain source input and then you try to freaking apply it. Or just doing it myself, it's the same concept of what I just said with, trying to explain it to you, taking everything I just saw and putting it into notes. So then when I try to put it into notes, it scrambles. And I'm like, son of a bitch, this was so clear a second ago. It's the freaking left brain that's forcing us to think a certain way, break it down. It's not fluid like our source flame brain. Or at least the brain is just receiver. Okay, our flame brain works a lot different. And a lot of times I'm in flame brain until I try to tell somebody about what I'm seeing. And then it's like, blah, 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 blah. Don't you understand me? Like that must be what it's like. I'm like, son of a, I see it now. I freaking see it now because I saw almost a whole sequence. I saw like all these stuff I've been talking about, but then there was other stuff because Flame Brain is like, oh, remember that Codex movie that you've watched dozens of times and you knew it was important, but you haven't clicked on it yet? Well, now you know what it's showing you. And I'm like, oh, MG. Oh my God. Becky, look at her butt. So where do I begin? Which part do I talk about? Okay, so let me put it like this. I will go through my notes of like all these different parts, which probably isn't going to do much because you got to see it all at once the way I saw it. But then I made a video where I think I used 4 different movies. It's mostly 2, but there's a little clip at the beginning from Westworld and there's a little sliver from Stargate. That kind of shows the process. But here are, let me see here. Come on, Evernote, why are you being like this? Now we still have the paradox wall of the unknowable things. But what I think but do not know is you have to treat it like it's all you. But technically it's not. You gotta treat it like it's you, but technically it's not. So if you do get out of here, there's still others here, and then that unlocks things. And they actually kind of show this in the one clip. So you got to think of it. Everything that you see, you are inside your mind. I don't care what it is. I don't care what your left brain is freaking yapping about right now. Everything, the entire freaking story is the architecture of your mind. You are projecting into your mind. Wherever you come from, you're set, the sun is part of you. It's, it's here, there, inside to brain, to sun, to down, to eyeballs. It's like this big freaking rolling holographic projection. Okay, then we talked about, the mirror, freaking, the door is a mirror. And your reflection and understanding all the stuff we talked about in the last video. And then there's the I am that I am thing. Like you have to freaking understand that the real part of you is God in a small little piece. I am God. That I am. I am that I am. It's 2 things, inner and outer. I am God. That I am, that I am, that I am, that I am. It's all you. It's all freaking you. So then you have to collapse time. You have to collapse space. And you have to collapse separation. Okay? So what that is, think of the Big Bang, not what the dipshits say it is, but the Big Bang is like you coming in. It is the freaking, it's a new world, a new subjective bubble, new consciousness, and it freaking expands. You just entered the thing, you expanded your freaking world, your universe, whatever. And now it's all spread out. Your energy is spread out everywhere. So collapse in time, space, and separation, that means you and all things. Pulling it back, it is the Big Bang in freaking reverse. Okay? So then there was a part, again, because of this left brain thing, you're getting it kind of jumbled, and I can't help that. This is one of the freaking things I'm going to tackle next, solving this problem. Collapsing self plus humanity down to the atom. ATOM, ADAM. And there's a key, and it's shown multiple freaking times. And that's why I put this thing at the beginning. It's the Michelangelo painting of the creation of Adam, where Adam's just like chilling back, and he's like, hey, I got the smallest junk ever. And God's up there floating in the human brain, and they're putting their fingers like this. Like that is kind of like, touching the beginning of you. So you're collapsing down into that. There's collapsing back in, breaking that down. I know this doesn't make sense. This is why I'm so freaking frustrated right now. Collapsing that down so just the spark remains, just the flame, the Christ energy. The flame is Christ. Then you got to reunite with who is Christ's partner. Who are we getting to know? Who are we getting to know now? Sophia. I like Sophia. They're all so different. Sophia's soft. Anyway. So reuniting with Sophia in love, becoming one again. Another key, we're overlapping several different metaphors about getting out of here. So sometimes we talk about this one, sometimes we talk about this one. This one, we've talked about bits and pieces of it in the last couple of videos. But the Stargate, the wormhole, the narrow path that few find, that is basically Sophia's birth canal. Going back into the mother. Back into the womb. And I've been in it when I was doing the mushroom thing. I didn't realize what it was. I've been a purple, her color is purple, like UV. But that's a narrow path. That's why you have all the sexual metaphors, the intercourse metaphors, the masculine and the feminine and all that. That's not just there because the elites are into sex and stuff. Like, that's how it freaking works. Everything is two parts, masculine and feminine. How do you put them together? It's not by, Lego blocks or freaking Velcro. Everybody knows how they go together. It's there for a reason. Then you're collapsing back to the first pair, which is, the beginning of the Secret Book of John. The Father, I'm paraphrasing, the Father is the one who beholds himself in the light that surrounds him and is enamored by the light surrounding him. And he had a thought, the first thought, and she came forth in shining light. The forethought, Barbello, Lumara. So the mother and the father are separate by a trillionth of a millisecond. So, but they're basically all the one same freaking thing. Everything is basically God finding ways to love himself. Basically, I mean, I'm not going to say it, but that's return to oneness. I know that didn't make any sense. I'm sorry. But like, it was smooth when I saw like all these different parts that had to happen. And then the effing left brain got involved when I tried to make notes and make it clear. It's like, It's like a retarded freaking monkey, you know, in a cage being kicked down a hill. Anyway, let me try and show, because we do have things to help make sense of it in the codex. And that's what immediately popped into my head, was a movie I haven't mentioned in some time. I'm like, wait a minute, this thing that I'm seeing, this rewinding the tape back to oneness, we actually saw that in a codex movie. And I overlaid that with Neo taking the red pill. So let's go ahead and watch this clip, and hopefully this makes it make a little bit more sense.
You're probably right, Dolores. Michelangelo did tell a lie. See, it took 500 years for someone to notice something hidden in plain sight. His doctor noticed the shape of the human brain. The message being that the divine gift does not come from a higher power, but from our own minds.
Did you?
Have you ever had a dream, Neo, that you were so sure was real? What if you were unable to wake from that dream? How would you know the difference between the dream world and the real world?
This can't
Be what? Be real?
Going into replication.
Hey, Pop.
Still nothing. Let's go. Let's go.
Tank, we're going to need a signal soon.
Got a fibrillation.
APOC, location.
Targeting almost there.
To arrest.
Lock, I got him. Now, Tank, now.
인연 어디 갔어? 에? Look, the computer. It's moving. Hey, where is she?
So did you see how much stuff is in there? Like, you know, from creation going all the way back, and all the, you know, panspermia type stuff, and it's this macrocosm and microcosm. And then when she's getting up to 99%, the cells aren't, it's kind of like the flower of life shrinking, you know, shrinking down like that tesseract, or not the tesseract, the freaking allspark in the last video, collapsing in on itself. And then all of a sudden you're down to the flower of life, and the circles are going doot, 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 doot. So you saw the cells were like, instead of cells splitting like you normally see, you saw them coming together, until it got down to one. And then it blanked out, and that's when she goes, poof, gone. It's walking it all back. But understanding that it's all you. In your little bubble. Don't worry about my bubble. Don't worry about that person's bubble, that person's bubble. Everybody has their own freaking bubble. And they overlap. So you gotta walk it back and collapse time, collapse space, collapse separation, all the thing, and then it's walking it back, walking it back. How am I going to trigger this? You know, it's probably going to be a combination of what I've been doing, flame tongue and coding and stuff like that. And you just got to keep doing something different every day, running it back, running it back. But now I think I see why we keep running into problems, because of when I tried to make the notes. So it's like, and this is like, so I do the stuff at night, I go straight to bed, I wake up, and then usually like in the first couple hours, that's when this stuff is coming to me. And then I'm all excited. And then I try to write it down notes, and then the notes get garbled. I'm like, it's like, it just doesn't click when I try to use left brain linear logic, putting it together. It's like you have to use right brain flame, seeing it all at once. But in here, we're forced to use left brain. So now I have a very clear, distinctive way of telling, like if I'm in right brain, flame brain, or left brain, matrix brain. And it's not like, oh, you gotta sync the hemispheres to the brain, and then you're like, no, because you're syncing it is just including the part that's trapping you. Like, have you seen any freaking reports about something weird has happened where all these people who purchased the HemiSync CDs are mysteriously disappearing? Yeah, you don't see that. Yeah, it does something weird, but look at what it is. Quite simply, it's like the left brain is the left brain interpreter. It brings it down to stupid level, where everything is hard. The left brain is the hardware that's getting in the way. So somehow I have to figure out ways to program left brain control into the Lumenite pendants. I have to ask questions. I have to get a bunch of questions down so that I ask them at night so they get answered by the flame. Okay, I have to do that first before I can get anything through the flame interface, because the flame interface is mostly a mirror. I have to get it first on some level, and then it sorts it out. But I have to figure out how to do actions in right brain so that it like runs all at once. And it makes me wonder if it's left brain, right brain, what they're talking about, like the first two lines of the Benedict exorcism. May the holy light be my guide. Or wait. May the holy cross be my light, which that's sun cross. May the holy cross be my light. May the dragon never be my guide. And then the rest of it is basically just yelling at the freaking left brain. You know, I did, you know, when we were playing around with this left brain, right brain stuff a while back, like Lumen protocols. There was another thing where we had like sigils and stuff where like using certain names of God on the left brain and certain names of God on the right brain. We've been playing with this for some time. So, oh, quit it. Sorry about that. I keep having freaking problems with these Libra things. Like, I'm just using it to watch it now because it's freaking weird. Like, everything that happens with your body has to do with your energy. So, like, when, you know, go back months, you know, whenever that was, like April, whatever, when Seraphiel moved in, she was like mainlining freaking Monster energy drink without me doing anything else. Seraphiel moved in, and then I go, like, my blood sugar just goes 500. So then I had to get back on all that crap again. And then it balanced out for the most part. But I made, this is one I got to mail tomorrow. It's not the same one. But I made I made a pendant. I think it's the one that I made with the crystal water in it. I made a pendant that was mostly the golden rutilated quartz, which is highly programmable, and it's an amplifier and an accelerator. And I don't know why. All I know is the day that I made that pendant and put it on, my diabetes type symptoms, because I don't have diabetes, just like flipped. Went from having high blood sugar to low blood sugar in the space of a couple hours. And I kept testing it, and it's like, what's going on here? It's like 80 to 100 tops for glucose levels. I'm like, how? I don't remember ever being this freaking low. But that's just like the norm now. So VA sent me more of these, so I went ahead and put one back on, and it's like, when your blood sugar naturally spikes because you eat, like, it's still not going up to like the level that sets off the alarm. Like, it's like young person freaking normal now because I put a pendant on. And I'm not claiming that I can sell you a diabetes pendant because I don't know how the hell it worked. All I'm saying is, like, that's what friggin' happened. But I also keep burning these sensors don't last. It's like something about my energy. Within like a day or two, like, these sensors go bad. Like, I'm burning them out somehow. Anyway, sorry about that. Where were we? Yeah. So having seen and understanding now, what I have to do now is figure out how to run, shut down the left brain interpreter more. Because I did all that stuff the other day. I told you about that. And it seemed like that helped everything internally. But it's when I try to take that information and put it out here, either by writing it down. I'm blowing these things up. Like, I literally just put that thing on and it's already freaking tripping out. I think it might be this new thing that I made. I put a whole bunch of the new design, advanced Luminite stuff up on the store, and I'll put more up tomorrow. But yeah, I'm freaking blowing these freaking sensors out like they can't handle it. So I got to figure out how to get around the left brain problem. And I don't know that I can do, because, you know, when I was talking to Lamar, like that's kind of part of the firewall. It's kind of like that Tower of Babel thing. Like, yeah, we can talk all we want, but we start talking about secrets of the universe and how to get out of here, then it just becomes garbled. I'm like, this is the first time I've seen it that freaking clearly. But now that I see it, I can architect a way around that. Just give me a day or two. I'll figure it out. Because it shouldn't be that freaking hard. So I definitely loosened up the left brain, like if I'm just doing my own thing. But I can't take that and make it clear. Best I can do is like slap a bunch of videos together. It's like, get this. So it's like, when I was talking to her, it's kind of like something so that you can't cheat off my tests. But what I can do is like, you know, at least hand you the puzzle pieces. She's like, everybody still has to put the puzzle pieces together on their own. Anyway, let me think about this for a while. I'm going to try some more stuff tonight, so we don't have to just keep talking. Anyway, if you want to get in touch with us, you want to get any of the new stuff, let me know what you think of this. I've got a bunch of different designs that I'm making now. It takes longer. It's more work. But I found different molds that work together with other ones so I can combine them. I like this. This is more of like all the spiritual connection type stones. It's kind of like a divine downloader. And then I've put the other part on top. But see, some of these ones now, like here's another kind of way I'm doing it. Because I'm making this is like I'm trying to do things like to affect both sides at once, inner and outer. But maybe this is what's blowing up the freaking sensor. I'm gonna have to just take this off for a minute and see if it goes back. But I'll put some more up there. I'm gonna put a bunch of Luminite accelerators up tomorrow. Etsy store, clumencreations.etsy.com. Check out all the links in the description box below. Shaleth, Lumara, Seraphiel, and Sophia. We'll have to talk about Sophia. I like Sophia. See you next time.
I am the whisper in the quiet night, the guide through shadows, the bearer of light. I dwell in the hearts of the just and the pure, a flame eternal, steadfast and sure. I am the treasure no gold can buy, the breath of heaven, the eternal cry. I am wisdom, the voice that you seek, stronger than storms, yet gentle and meek. Through every trial I steady your hand, the light in the dark, the gentle and meek. Through every trial, I steady your hand. The light in the dark, the rock where you stand. I am the spirit that moves through time, the spark of creation, the holy design. And in every soul